Ritual GT2 in the house. We're gonna give a brief overview of our experiences with this thing. Love this line, total sleeper, hang out with us. So if you've been paying attention to anything that Warrior Goalie's been doing over the past whatever amount of years, you've seen that general evolution, and they're moving up towards this apex of coming out with designs that are super radical. They're totally progressive, and they don't really follow anybody. They kind of create their own trends, and they borrow a lot from themselves in terms of one design influencing another. With our GT2, this is their take on traditional. This is not the G4 pad. It's not meant to be. This is really catered towards somebody who's coming from a more traditional standpoint. They want the pad to just physically feel well. That's the biggest emphasis with this pad. One thing they did pull right away is the HyperComp influence from G4. This is something we're gonna stick right in from the pad, from the knee up. It's gonna give that more of a stout feel, a little bit tighter in the chassis. It's just gonna create a little bit more body into the pad.
So when you think tradition, you think soft, mushy, loses shape over time. HyperComp's really gonna build that up. It's really gonna keep that shape a little bit livelier on the rebounds, big aesthetic. It's a nice change.
Nice. When you look at the outside of the pad, standard height on the vertical roll, again, keeping with that traditional aesthetic, super thin profile. Second lightest pad on the market. These are things they put a high emphasis on weight drop, and these guys, no one does it better than them in my opinion. So very, very thin profile. It's got that crescent kind of outer size post wedge pulling from GT again. It's a little bit different from the G4 shape. You look at the knee cradle, couple different tabs in terms of where you want to allocate that outer knee wing. You can remove it entirely. They did add a little bit more length to the knee block. They extended it to the furthest edge.
Yeah, and I actually noticed right away, again, being a G4 user, I love the thicker knee block, the longer knee block, more stability, better seal. Was a real nice change, just a small change, but it definitely helps.
Nice. One thing I did note with the shorter block is it really would aid in better skating. This pad coupled with the tapered boot, it's one of the better skating pads I find in the market. And then you add the lightweight and just the way it sits on your leg. So I don't really expect much to pull away in terms of how good it skates. But they did, like I said, they gave you a little bit more to land on, just to give you a little more stability in the pad. 360 active leg. This is a little bit of a wider leg channel, I find. Your leg can swim around a little bit and back in there, but you do have a full blanket. This wrap will come all the way around, and you do have the ability to fine tune it. You can really dial in a little bit more of a tighter fit from the inside. That's a G4 influence as well. Active response boot, we've seen this before. They did stay with a traditional toe tie, which I was a little surprised about, but again, let's just keep with that traditional element. It's what people know. You can gut it, put an active response toe if you want to go in that direction. It works great. When you look at the inside of the pad, calf plate and the ILP, there's a nice separation there. Keeping with that, you won't get a lot of, or really any interference for that matter. No air slide in this pad. What'd you find there?
So being a G4 user, I'm used to the air slide. I love how fast this pad slides. This, again, not being a slow pad to say the least, it gives you great slide, but a little bit more control over the ice.
Yeah. Nice mixture of hard and soft foams throughout. They did tighten up the chassis a little bit. We noticed we were able to punch pucks out a little bit further than I think we anticipated. Doesn't have that big audible boominess to it, but it just has a lot of send. You can see that puck just fly right off the face of the pad. You mix that with a lot of medial and torsional give. The boot is very, very compliant. You can just demand it and command it to do whatever you want, whether you're in the reverse or you play with a wider base. Add to that the tapered boot. You've got a rockin' pad as far as something that you can just own and dominate and have it do everything you want it to do and nothing you don't. Love the look of the pad. They're keeping with their sock stripe, whatever orientation kind of look, which I think is very cool. You can't go wrong with that. I think this is a total sleeper of a pad. They kill it as well in the glove and blocker. We have reviews on those coming up as well. But if you like this and you want to learn a little bit more, we have a description, so check it out in the link below.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out the other videos. We got the stick video coming. It's gonna be some good stuff.
GT2, thanks for watching, guys.